Alright, I'm going to fix the backup camera on this beast here, and I'll show you how to run one from scratch too. Put one of these Ray U cameras in 2 years ago, and they're halfway decent, but this one just stopped working. It's got a broken wire in the video part, because it still triggers the double DIN that I put in, but it doesn't actually show any video. And what I found is I can play with this and get the camera to turn on and off, basically. So I got a replacement here. I'm going to throw it in. You can buy one of these tailgate handle bezels for like $150 that has the backup camera all ready to go. I paid, I think, like $35 for the bezel and like $12 for the camera. So I'm ahead of the game. All I had to do was drill this hole to the size it needed to be. I'll put links up for the camera and the bezel itself, so you can do this yourself. And my double DIN too, why not? The worst part of this whole install is getting the cords and stuff, getting the wires through the tailgate down to the bottom. I drilled a hole, put a grommet in, but fishing them through really kind of sucks. This was pretty easy this time because I just taped this wire to the one that I pulled out, and then I will tape the new one to the wire, pull the wire out. But that's the hardest part of the whole deal. That, and you've got to run the wires to the front. I ended up tapping into the 7-pin trailer harness that way for the reverse and ground. So that's pretty easy there. And then you just got to run the video cable all the way to the front of the truck. And then I came in through the manual shift transfer case hole. I snipped this white lead here because I don't want the grid that came on it. And then you can also snip this green one if you're going to put a camera in the front, which I'm kind of thinking about doing because the truck's high enough you really can't see dick ahead of you. So I might do another one of these and put it in the front. But that's pretty simple. Okay, so here we cut a piece of that wire. This is fairly heavy gauge wire. It's got to be like 12, 10, something like that. And I'm just going to tape this all together so this is like a strain relief, so I don't end up with another busted lead here. Then I tape the seams here to keep water out of the connections, and should be good to go. Okay, now I gotta line up the camera itself inside the bezel. Put my hitch in here so I can make sure I'm lined up straight on the camera. Kiddo's car seat makes it kind of hard to see, but I can kind of see in there. And then just rotate this baby and pop it in where it needs to be. We are lined up, all set. I can see my hitch, corners of the bumper, good to go. And if you're doing an initial install on one of these things, you get this piece too. Okay, so this line here is the one I showed you in the back that's got to go all the way from the back to the front here. This is the video hookup to the flat screen that I got. And then this line here is the wire that's getting energy from that harness in the back there. I ran it through the towing stuff, and that supplies juice to the harness for the head unit here, and that's what turns it on. That was a pretty normal install here. This is the wiring from the truck itself. This is the universal connector for it. And then in here are all my splices that go to the wiring from the head unit itself. And that's pretty straightforward stereo stuff that everybody does. Had to take the whole damn thing apart anyway. So I also fixed my hyperflash while I was in here. I got this LED flasher, and that took care of my hyperflash issue. Look, every single bulb's fine. And every single bulb is fine. Might as well also show the wiring to my wideband through here. I ran all that stuff for the floor shift. That's where that goes through the floor down into the exhaust for that one. And that just pops in here with a little pocket cubby there. And here are little plastic spacer blocks that I made with some long screws to make this 99 to 02 style HVAC setup work with the 2003 setup. So I had to run the 2003 gauge panel here, which is the double DIN. And to do that, the easiest way to do that this whole cage assembly here. It's got a few screws. I had to drill out a rivet, I think, too. This you can pick up from the junkyard or whatever. I picked it up on eBay for like 30 bucks shipped. Wasn't even worth screwing around and driving to the junkyard, which is 60 miles away. And to make this work with the 99 to 02 stuff, though, you have to cut off little clips that just clip right into the 99 to 02 style. Get rid of those, cut them off, and then build these little spacers here to make everything assemble correctly. Then you also have to pull this flip door off and shave down the ashtray thing here so that everything clears, because this does sit a little bit lower. So this is a factory style 99 to 02 HVAC panel, and you can see the little clips in here that just pop in, pop out. Those are what you have to cut off in order to make that 0306 radio cage fit. And what I've got to do now is check this one out. This one's from a Suburban, and supposedly when you put a relay in the fuse block and hit the rear defrost button here, heated mirrors will work. So that's what I'm going to test now. Okay, this is another project I got to finish up later. These are Chevy Express mirrors with a turn signal on them, but they have the same connector as the factory mirrors here. So I just got to make this work with the heated mirrors. I can check this right now, see if it works with the heated mirrors, and how easy the swap will be. You can see it's got 5 pins in there. Only 3 pins on the factory mirror. And we've got 8 here. But the extra ones on this are for the turn signal, which I know I've got to add anyway. But from what I have read, legend has it that this will plug right in and the heated mirrors should work. Okay, I fired her up. Let's make sure the AC works with this. Okay, the AC is definitely working. I wanted to make sure I didn't lose that. This is a junkyard part I got out of a Suburban. Now, if I hit the rear defrost, this should start to warm up. That's dead cold right now. This still feels totally dead cold. Alright, let me double check my relay in the fuse block. Okay, so here's the rear defog relay and fuse. I didn't have these in there. There's the fuse, here's the relay. And I just pulled it out to check it, and I heard it click when it came out and click when I put it back on. So the HVAC switch is triggering the relay, and I gotta figure out why the mirror doesn't seem to be doing anything. Yeah, that still feels dead cold. So, gotta figure out what's up there. Okay, I just gave a quick look at this connector here, and it looks like I'm probably gonna have to repin it, because I'm pretty sure these orange and black are the turn signal ones, and probably these have something to do with the heater itself. I'm not sure 100%, but I'll have to get a look at the wiring diagram and revisit this later. But this Chevy Express mirror swap is something I'm going to be working on here in the future. Okay, so now I got to throw this all back together so I can drive to work tomorrow. But the camera works anyway. That's all fixed up. One thing at a time, right? Oh, by the way, if you get up underneath here, I don't know if I can point the camera where it needs to be, but it looks like you can get to that flasher without taking all this stuff apart. It's a good way to waste 10 minutes and screw around and not make any progress, so it's easier just to actually take these screws out and the dash bezel out and do it like everybody else on YouTube says. I thought I was smarter than everybody, but Okay, all back together and set up. Maybe next thing I'll do is spring clean the bulldog slobber out of here.